ground. The rain trickles on the leaves, what an earthly sound. Let me hear it from the crowd like a word of mouth. Go ahead, let me know what you heard about this crew from out the Midwest. Yeah, we're here to make you move unlike a stiff neck. Strange soul supplies the groove that makes you flip desk. Quotables are notable, just hand us our respect.
Yo, are you listening? Tell me, are you listening? What? Yo, well, what's missing then? Tell me what's missing then. Come on, yo, are you listening? Tell me, are you listening? What? Well, what's missing then? Tell me what's missing then.
So you can hear me clearly, defy every theory and nearly escaping death or life verdicts left to the jury all over some jury. Surely off of Midwest bud like the Anheuser-Busch Brewery in St. Louis, Missouri. They thought I would never listen to change my outcome if ever missing form, but that's a stormy weather condition. Mama told me there'd be days like this that merely show when you grow sincerely or severely old, but you don't hear me though.
Same niggas still on the counter. You know the money hit at all time. We keep on grinding, keep on grinding. You know you stay on my mind. Hope you doing good, girl. Hope your mama good, yeah. And tell your pops take care. You know that nigga stay on bullshit. Crazy as hell. That's my nigga, that's still. You know, I've been thinking, I've been wishing that we can get back here. I'm talking 4 flash, 2 a days up here, hiding from your girlfriends, like we the only ones, yeah. You know that shit sound good, sound good, like I drive through the hood, sound good, sound good, back in time, shit sound good,
The views shared on this program are not necessarily the views of DBN, its sponsors, or affiliates. DBN, nor the Logic-Based Collective, can be held responsible for anything taken personal when you could have just changed the station to begin with. If you're offended by world-class conversation that will move you to better yourself, you should leave while you have the chance. We're pros, but we're not like pros. In the event that you'd like to sue, we have no money, but if you drop your job's number in the comments, we will call them and let them know that you'll be out on an all-expense-paid vacation into your feelings.
Live from the studio of technical difficulties, we're on. I'm not sure. Are we on? We're on? Okay, we're on. Are we good? Yo, welcome to the Logic-Based Collective podcast. I'm AJ. This is KJTW, Siobhan, and we have a special guest.
Yay!
What's the name? AJ's on the proverbial ones and twos. As always, we hold on. She gonna go first? She gonna okay? Yes.
Oh, that's what. Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, my bad.
I'm about to say, like, do the whole
I went
thing.
fast at you. I'm saying so that she can go ahead.
No, I'm saying, all right, well, we have our special guest, Miss Kelly Thaddeson. Sorry. I can't even say your name right. So what we do here on our Mondays, we like to review our weekends and share with our audience what our weekend was like, how we are feeling, what we bring into the week. How was your weekend, Kelly?
What is today?
Today's Monday.
Today's Monday.
Today is Monday.
My weekend.
Oh, what a mic. Into it.
I'm just trying to think. What did I do this weekend?
Oh, you're one of us.
Yeah, I forget every Monday too. I'm like, hold up, what did I do?
Yesterday I chilled. I worked.
You worked yesterday?
I worked Saturday. I think I worked
Oh,
Saturday.
yeah, on Saturday. Okay. Kelly is a hairstylist out here in
I
Springfield
swear,
in
somebody
Atlanta.
has one of those Men in Black flashlights.
You've forgotten.
You get flashed every week.
Every day. Because I don't remember.
Chills.
Yeah, I worked and I rested.
That's solid.
Work and rest.
That's productive. Listen, if you took a nap, you sound like one of us.
Right.
I'm all into naps. I support naps.
Yeah.
All for it. Naps are lovely.
Yes, they are.
Thanks, Siobhan.
What did I do? My weekend was kind of busy, I think. Yeah, it was. I did stuff. I was busy. There were several, I think we had like a service Friday night. Yes, so we had a church service on Friday night, which was really good. It's a lot. It was good, I know that. And then Saturday, I know I did something, and it was productive, I think. And oh no, I worked on Saturday. I picked up a shift on Saturday. I knew I did something. I made money. Okay, and then there was an appreciation service for our musicians on Saturday evening. So I hit that real quick, and I did something else. I don't know. And then Sunday was like, whew, Sunday. I'm exhausted. Sunday we had service, and we had service. And I had service. I don't really know what everybody else was doing, but I definitely had service. I was into it. I was in my own world. I've been in my own world at service the last few weeks. I've been having a good time in the Lord. And then we had a second service in the evening where I had the pleasure of sharing my testimony. Nothing special, nothing y'all have heard. Same thing. But I shared that.
For the benefit of the listeners who don't know, okay.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that. But I love the Lord. That was the gist of it. And now we're back to Monday. I didn't take a nap yesterday, and it showed. It showed. It's still showing right now, as you can.
Napless.
So yeah, recovery tonight. Recovery.
Got a chance for the sermonette on Sunday. Yeah. Unfortunately, there was no stream, so can't even go back.
God bless whomever made that
You lucked out.
decision. Yeah, I didn't need that.
You know what I mean?
Good, but it was good. It's always nice to be up there real quick.
I wasn't able to join because I was at work, but I heard that it was about 50 people deep. I was up there like Wu-Tang.
Oh, man.
A bunch of speakers.
Shout out to all my church mates.
Oh, that was Friday night.
Church
I was
family.
there Friday night.
No, not that. Well, we did something else yesterday.
Oh yeah, y'all had
That
Friday
wasn't-
service
yeah.
I
on
was there
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah, that was a platform service.
Friday night was the platform service.
You missed. I did mention that. Where are you?
See, I'm doing so much that like I'm here, but I'm not really
Yes.
here.
Yes, that's all right. I got you.
How was your weekend, man?
How was my weekend? My weekend was straight. So as I stated last week, my sister's birthday was last weekend, so last week, so we went paintballing. So that was my first time going paintballing, and I carried the team, so I felt good. I'm like, oh, Call of Duty's paying off. I can actually do this.
Call of Duty is paying off. It's wild.
So, yeah, we went paintballing. We had the platform service on Friday. Saturday, one of our cousins had a baby shower, so I attended that. We got to talk about God because that's my thing. So I'm like, all right, so you done messed up. You done walked into the wrong room. But yeah, so we had a good conversation. Sunday night we had church, or Sunday we had church. I didn't go to church Sunday night. And then we back here on the best day of the week. We on Monday. You know what it is? The Logic-Based Collective.
Solid okay.
Yo, my weekend was cool. Work, church, some relaxation, and that's very important. When we back to it, we here. And keep it quick. Go ahead.
Smooth. My weekend was cool as well. Got to go to a concert on Sunday. 50 years of hip hop was dope. That was the highlight of my weekend, but everything else was cool, man. Chilling, blessed.
Believe that.
I went to church too Sunday. Sorry.
Yeah, weekend went by pretty quick. I went back to work this week, so.
How's that?
I didn't really have
Bittersweet.
I didn't have no weekend. It wasn't even like that. It's just like there was nothing else happening. You know what I'm saying? Like it just work. I was doing stuff in the in the day or whatever, and the overall time was interesting. Just because things are happening. But I mean, those long shifts at work with virtually nothing to do. Like that was it. Church. I was present at service. I was also not present at service.
Man.
So, you know what I mean? Like it's like just another one of those.
One of those.
Yeah. Like I was just kind of there, and but the time went by. Today's a better day.
For sure.
And yeah, that was pretty much the weekend. So this is the Logic-Based Collective podcast. We would encourage you to hit the subscribe button, and then after you do that, if you could like, if you could comment, if you could share, we greatly appreciate it. Wherever you're watching from, because I don't know, maybe you're watching it from the Digital Boombox Network YouTube channel. Maybe you're listening on the DBN app. Maybe you're watching via Soft Spoken Prophet TV. However you're watching, just want to encourage you to go to the Logic-Based Collective via YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. You'll be glad that you did. It doesn't cost any money, so right there you're already winning.
Listen, I was told people like free, so it's free to do all those things.
And
we go. So what are we talking about today?
We are talking about, let's see.
what's more important to you, being right or doing the right thing?
Oh, this should be interesting.
That's how we start. This should be interesting.
So, what's more important to you, doing the right thing?
Being right or
doing the right thing?
Right.
All right. So, where are we starting with?
I think Andrew should start, and you should give some context to the fact that you brought this question to the chat.
I like that.
Pardon the chivalry,
Nah, it's all
ladies.
good.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Did anybody catch the license plate on that bus?
It went over on an alarming rate.
So I think it's important. Not important. I think it's an important question, but I think it's something that we deal with constantly. When we're battling on when to kind of take down and be okay with doing the right thing, as opposed to letting people know, yo, I'm right. Like, because then at the same time, it's like, all right, where do you draw the line, or what's more important to you? Because like, there's gonna be times where, like, There's gonna be times where, even though you are right, like you're the right person, like you're saying the right things, not everybody's gonna accept it. And what do you do at that point? Do you force the issue that, yo, bro, I'm right? Like, we can look this up, we can do a bunch of things to prove that I'm right, or do you just say, you know what, don't worry about it?
So what we're saying is not proving your point or pushing the issue is doing the right thing. Is that where?
I mean, that's a part of it. So I think you can use it in that aspect. So yeah, that's.
I'm just asking. I want to know your perspective because
What exactly you answering?
Yeah, it's kind of like are they like? Is it one or the other, or is it just like, hey? Because I know a lot of people who just can't let things go. It like will go the extra mile to prove that they are correct.
Some people petty, so that's.
And I don't even feel like it's pettiness. It's like something innate where it's just like I need for you to know that I am correct. But I don't feel like it's necessarily like a versus thing where it's like, okay, well, me not going that extra mile is doing the right thing. I don't know.
So not necessarily that like not going the extra mile is doing the right thing, but just like type of thing like. For instance, I had an example back when I was working for a separate company. I had a suggestion, and I'm like, all right, this is my suggestion. And they're like, yeah, this is a good suggestion. And then my boss was like, oh, it's a bad suggestion, or not necessarily that it's bad, but like, oh, it kind of downplayed this and the other. Then a couple weeks later, here he comes with a suggestion. That seems oddly familiar. So
Jingles 2000.
So in this instance, I'm tasked with that's my answer. Like this is me, or do I just say let them have it, kind of thing. So like kind of when to take down at that point, or but you could also do.
Okay.
You know,
so you're saying basically like wanting the credit for being right. Versus just being fine with the fact that the right thing happened, because even though the boss kind of like hijacked the credit from you, like the team overall still gets the benefit of whatever that more efficient suggestion was for the workflow or whatever.
Right. In that specific example.
So are we saying like is it wrong? Is it wrong for you to stick up for yourself in that? You know what I'm saying? Like, not you don't, even if it's not about the credit. Well, I mean, I haven't had the same situation, but I know like there's been times something similar might happen, and maybe like they don't. Like,
so I think. Oh, my fault.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say there's been times something similar might happen, and it's like, yo, is it cool for you to just continually, is it right for you to continually not say anything? Or, you know what I'm saying? Or is it, you just kind of.
It's case by case, bro. Because like, say for example, like your scenario at the job, like, yo, if that could have been like reflective of your performance or your commitment to the company and could have necessarily like been like make or break on getting a promotion or something, like, yeah, that's kind of crazy that somebody stole the idea. But in other scenarios, like if you put it in like, say like a family unit, it's like, yo, I suggested we do Thanksgiving at so-and-so's house. And like, it made it work so much better than doing it at such and such's house. Like, I don't need the credit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the credit's not detrimental. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just happy that, like, whatever, like, this better idea worked for all of us. Like, you know what I mean? And I think, like, that's where you decide where your relationship is, to your point, about a person's relationship with needing credit. And I think, like, everybody can see that in, like, family aspects, professional aspects, where some people just need you to know that they said whatever, got things into whatever direction everything went.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
So like, what would be an example then of like of having to choose between being right or doing the right thing?
Can I get
Yes.
At any point. At any
Right
point.
in.
It's a real. Yeah.
I shared earlier. I have something fresh
Perfect.
today.
Okay.
So I am in transition. I'm in the process of moving to Georgia. So I've been traveling back and forth since September. Spend 1 week in Atlanta, spend 1 week here.
Oh wow.
Yeah, oh wow. And the last time I came back, I was just like, I'm tired of this. So my plan was to drive my car down this week and, just be there. How else and ever? My plans were erased by the Lord. And I'm mad. I'm being transparent. I'm mad.
That's real.
And so between the Lord, my mentor, and a very close friend, they all three said the same thing. Why don't you wait? And my dad, why don't you wait? And I'm like, no.
That's not what I
Because
want to do.
No. Like, I want to go.
Yeah.
I want to do what I want to do now. And the good thing about me is, and I'm listening to you guys talk, the good thing is, like, throughout life, getting the credit, being right, and all of that stuff, it dies down. Because at the end of the day, God sees.
Sure.
God knows.
That's it.
And so like I said, this happened today. It's fresh, like hours fresh. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do the right thing. And the problem is, I'm trying to establish myself in Atlanta. So it would be crazy for me to go there without money.
Yeah, of course.
Because like I'm there, I don't have clients there, so I'm building.
Right.
And so to keep going back and forth, this holiday season, January's coming, it's different. Those are like gambling months.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
As a hairstylist. And so I had to sit in the car in front of my house after I got off the phone with my mentor and was like, okay, I'm gonna do the right thing.
That's an example.
I'm gonna do the right thing and I'm gonna stay here. And the thing is, it's like I've been telling people, yeah, I'm driving my car down to Atlanta this week and and yeah, and I'm out and no, I ain't. I'm gonna be here a little bit longer. So it's very humbling.
Yeah.
But it's the right thing to do.
That's what's up.
Sorry.
Oh no, you good. Go ahead.
Because this is fresh for you, great question to ask you. So when doing the right thing isn't in alignment with what your desires are, like how do you work through that? Like how do you work through, like, I know this is wrong. I know this is not to my benefit. I know that this is not going to grow me in this moment. But it's what I want. This is what I want to do. This is what makes me happy. This is what I, what do you, like, how do you work through that?
You seeing it right now.
Yeah. Well,
You're seeing it live in action. Talking about it on a podcast live. Like, for me, talking about it helps me to process. I'm gonna talk about it some more when I leave here. I'm gonna write about it. I'm gonna pray about it. I know it's gonna be all good.
right.
But it's like, I'm ready to go. It's cold. You just said it's about to be a wintry mix. I had flip-flops on last week. Like,
I mean,
I'm
like,
ready to go.
Yeah.
I think it's good to, like, it's good where you took the conversation with your example, just because, like, I don't even think we realize, like, sometimes when you're saying for you to be right, that may not be the overall right thing, but you're just doing what you desire.
Right.
And, like, I think we all have that. Like, what I mean? Like, it's hard. Like, like, you headstrong, or you're a person that, like, calculates the outcomes, or you believe that, like, you thought about it so many ways, so why would, like, after you've done all that work, how could you end up wrong?
Yeah.
Right.
And then, like, finally, like, you're like, nah, actually, like, 4 out of 5 dentists agree. like, you shouldn't drive down there. So it's like, are they all wrong? And I usually trust them, but do I only trust them because typically they agree with me? or are they right? And I just happen to disagree with them, so I'm gonna go with their way. Like, yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
As I'm listening to you guys talk, it's like I'm getting downloads, and it's like, you know, I could be saved right now from something crazy on the highway. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I know that there's a reason behind all of this. So I'ma just.
But working through it in like while you're in the middle of it is the hardest thing, which is probably why it's the best thing to be able to hear yourself say that out loud. You know, where the Bible says, like, you know, there's a way that seemeth right unto a man, but it's the Lord's way that. You're right. So you know what I mean? Like, yo, but it's the logic-based collective, right? We are a group, a collection of logically thinking people.
Try to be.
So we're yeah, but like no, but it's, you know what I mean? Like you think like these are the logical steps that you would take to get to point B. And so because like I've made a plan, because this is, you know, you're saying when like you're praying, so you know, like the word says, write the vision and make it plain and all this. And so you're doing that. Like that, like, you know, I've written my way. But but then also
That's
because
real.
we forget in the midst of that the Bible says just what I was saying before, but then like, you know, that our steps are ordered. And so like now I thought I knew my ordered steps.
Right.
And you're not taking me the direction that I can clearly see to, you know what I'm saying, like to navigate this situation. Because if I'm here and I can see like the way out of whatever tunnel this is in front of me, why wouldn't I go straight?
Right.
You're taking me left. And it seems like we're either staying the same or going farther away from where I'm trying to get to. So it doesn't really make sense. But I'm saying that to say, like, a lot of times, like personally, I have to hear that and say that because it's like, yo, I'm thinking like, yo, this doesn't make sense. And although I know that it doesn't always have to make sense, it's very annoying to me to feel like the progress that I made is now being wasted. The money that I spent is now being, you know what I'm saying? Like everything that I've done to try to get to this point that I feel that are the right steps are, you know what I mean? Like I'm like being pulled, like it's like I'm being pulled back. So it's like, all right, sure. I don't want to believe that it's God's will for me to not be, you know, in that place. I don't, or to feel like I'm going backwards. But it's like when you're putting too much trust in yourself, in the thing, you know what I'm saying, in the things that you want to do. But I'm saying that because it's easy to lose sight of that. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, personally, like this is something I continue to struggle with at times because I'm like, yo, this doesn't make sense to me. And even when I pray about this thing, I don't even like, yo, I don't need you to show me a way out. I don't need you to show, I just make it make sense to my brain. And it don't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like it's still like, you know, it's like trust in me. Why? Like, yo, like so, you know, but it is.
Yeah, but that wasn't the promise.
It is, huh?
I said that wasn't the promise though. Like the promise wasn't that you be fully explained to and everything you gonna do. Like,
you're right.
You gotta, like, you know what I mean, and that's what I think we all struggle with. Like, cause you've been blessed with all these capabilities and all these skills, and I mean, like you like, well, like, you know, like how people say like, oh, the Lord knows my heart. Mm-hmm. Like, nah, the Lord knows your brain too. like, and he placed that thought process in you, and he knew you were gonna question everything, but that's a challenge you have to overcome. To trust even when it doesn't make sense to you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to actually follow, because to your point, you have no idea what you're being protected from. When things, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a reason these detours happen.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Or even if it's, you know, and which is an excellent point, even if it's not protection, be like, there's some stuff that you would never have learned if you know what I'm saying? Like, if you hadn't gone that particular way. So
exactly.
It's like, yo, if I drove from Georgia to Cali, there's a good chance that like I'm not gonna have to really weatherproof anything. I can really go through without experiencing a lot of things out in terms of elements outside the rain. You know what I'm saying? Like if I live here, like we understand the importance of having all weather tires. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and weatherizing your vehicle and doing things like that is more important because we have to do it, but we probably wouldn't even know the importance of that if we didn't live here. It's not even something that you may always necessarily need, but you know what I'm saying? Like, but you're going to need it at a certain point in time. We just never know that. Like, the point is like, we know that it's like you have all of this common sense, but then you have to submit to the reality that you serve an uncommon God. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's not going to make perfect sense to us. But what I will say is, like, yo, I'm in learning to be able to let go of stuff. Sometimes it don't matter how things happen as long as you get to the desired destination. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
easier said than done.
I was saying, what
it's
if
no,
you,
it, and it,
and
it
what if you
definitely,
don't?
it definitely is. But it's like, yo, because I be telling I have to tell myself this is like, yo, because if I go the way that I want to go or the way that I think is the way, I may never make it there. Like, I don't have any evidence of doing things my way, or like pushing past God's will to get to where I want to be. I don't have any evidence of that for me.
Success, you mean?
You know what I'm saying?
The truth of the
Yeah,
matter is-
right.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, and so saying, well, if I'm going to get here, if that's where he said I was going to end up, I have to practice trusting that's what's going to happen, regardless of the direction. You know what I'm saying?
The truth of the matter is, we don't actually know the way to wherever we're trying to get to because we're trying to figure it out. Like, we're going off of experiences that we don't have. We're going off of other people's experiences. We're going off of the books that we've read. We're going off of word of mouth. We're going off of what we've seen in movies and stuff like that. The real truth about it is you don't know.
Right.
We don't have that knowledge of what's going to happen next. And even though we know, like, even though we feel like we know, like, it could go exactly the same way as it went for whoever who told it to you. But because it's you, it feels different.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
women can get pregnant. Not every pregnancy is the same. Like, women can have children. Not every child is the same. Like, all these things that you prepared for and that you heard these stories about, oh yeah, they told me to do this. Like, Siobhan has kids, she'll tell you, I'm sure. Like, it is, being told one thing and actually having your child is two separate things. Like,
Nah, for real.
It's the repetition for me. The fact that multiple people that care about you are telling you the same thing, I think is important because they're not telling you what you want to hear. And I truly believe that the people that care about you aren't going to keep you in an echo chamber that just tell you the things that you want to hear, but they're going to tell you difficult things that are for your best interest. So the fact that three people that you look at as a mentor, your higher power, and other people are telling you that now isn't the right time, it's probably for your benefit because it would have been way easier for those people to be like, yeah, girl, you got a plan, follow your plan. Forget everybody else. But they're willing to tell you something that you know you don't want to hear, and it's probably something that's making you feel conflicted about making that decision, but they're telling you anyway because it's really in your best interest. So
Honestly, I have peace.
Yeah.
Shout out
that
to
makes
those
a
people
difference.
though, like, because I mean, like you said, like, I felt that's why I said should when you were talking, because everybody doesn't have the luxury of having somebody that's willing to disagree with them for the sake of them.
Yeah.
Like, because we live in a society where people don't like. I don't remember what I said.
Not everybody doesn't have the luxury of having, people.
Yeah,
that
willing to
that
disagree
won't-
with them
Right.
for the sake of them. I mean, but the thing is, like, when you think of that, it's like it's the path of least resistance to just give people, because a lot of people in this society rather a yes person and rather just be agreed with. You know what I mean? Because
I
at
don't
the end
have
of the
any
day,
of those in my life.
that's
no,
good.
No
You
one in my life is a yes person.
You did great quality control then. That's what's up. That's what it's about.
No one.
but yeah, so I mean,
During, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say during my my testimony yesterday, I was saying how I'm essentially still in the process of unlearning so that I can be more adaptable to
That's good.
what is actually happening. Because there are just so many factors, there's so many things, like you were saying earlier, like experience, other people's experience, what you're reading, what you're intaking on social media or just TV in general, or
Absolutely.
you know, just your surroundings, what you're taking in your environment. All of that will affect your, like, I won't say your moral compass, but it affects
Your
how
thought
you,
process.
yeah. And just again, this I'm like, all right, I did think this way at one point, but I, like, as you say, when you you know better, you do better. Like, I'm growing in knowledge, I'm growing in wisdom, especially since being saved. So so it's just like, all right, while I may have done things this way before, and slip up sometimes and do some crazy
As we
things
all do.
in the midst of this growth process. I'm, you know, not relearning. I'm learning how to move differently, and it's not fun. It's really not fun. I'm okay. So last week I was telling y'all about lemons and trying to make some lemonade. My lemonade is so sour right now. Like, it's still not where. No. Lemonade. But, like, you know, I'm still really, I have a lot of lemons still coming my way, and I'm like, I'm really trying to make the best of it. And again, the only thing that, like you mentioned, peace, that's all I have. That's all that I've been able to, like, really hold on to really kind of push myself. Like, okay, it's not gonna always be like this. This is not the constant. It's just transition. Like, I'm transitioning. Go ahead, AJ.
I forgot your name.
Kelly.
Kelly, there it is.
But yeah, so it's just like, just getting comfortable in the discomfort of doing what you know is going to benefit you, even if it doesn't necessarily feel right because it's not what you want, or whatever. But I just laid that the term obedience is better than sacrifice. That's the only thing that, like, that's been flashing through my head for the last few weeks. Like, that's what I have to hold on to. That's what I have to remember. Like, I'm tired of taking L's. I don't want to take no more L's. I want to be able to, like, get to a point where it's just like, all right, we're gonna pivot before the L. We're gonna pivot before another catastrophe, before another incident or whatever, where you're having to rebuild from, from ground up. Yeah. So, yeah.
But what I wanted to say,
Good synopsis of your sermon.
That really was, no, for real, that was good.
So what I wanted to say is, another thing is going back to what Kelly said earlier, is perspective. What if, tying what Siobhan and Kelly said, what if both things are true? What if it was right in the moment, but that was due to your perception at the time?
Right.
Like,
because you was
like,
a different person.
Right, you're a different person. Like, how many times have we seen old statuses on Facebook pop up, and you're like, dang,
Yeah, I don't want to. Please don't pop up again next year, right?
that was me.
That was terrible.
I said that. Like, but in the moment,
Cringeworthy, huh?
For real.
in the moment, you said it with your chest. Like, in the
Made
moment,
sense then.
right? It made
It did
sense.
make sense,
Like,
right.
in the moment, it made sense. In the moment, like, all the pieces pointed to that way, that direction,
Right.
and like, it was hard. It's hard for you to look back and say, "Dang, I was wrong," or I wasn't wrong necessarily, but doing the right thing was more important than me getting my point across, kind of thing. Like, because, like, there's times where we have arguments, there's times where we have disagreements, there's times where we just, as we spoke about earlier, we stand on the wrong square, like, with our chest. Like, we were talking about, I forgot what celebrity we were talking about at the time. But yeah,
Thank you.
But yeah, so, but there are times where we kind of plant our feet and we don't recognize that we're on dangerous territory, or we don't understand like we don't grasp the full concept of what's going on, because we're going from limited, as we said earlier, limited experience, limited information. Like you got as said, you got the cliff notes and the spark notes. So you're like, yo, I definitely read the book, but then like I used to have teachers that used to read the spark notes and then ask you a question about something that's not on spark notes, like, just to see. Oh, on page 42, what did it say about the pond? What? The pond? What's that got to do with the plot? But just understanding that like we don't know the whole story, and because we don't know the whole story, it is important to get sound advice from people that we care about and trust, and it's also important to be humble enough to receive that information.
I was listening last week. I've been getting messages all over the place, but last week I was Miles Monroe. There was a post on Instagram, and it was just a little clip. It's about a minute long, and he was talking about this very thing. Like, God will show you the vision. He'll show you the end.
We talking about that.
We talking about
that.
that.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
So
real.
I feel like that's what's happening. Like, he showed me the end, and I done made the plan how to get there.
Absolutely. Because I'm like, oh, this is where I'm supposed to go.
Yeah.
That's
the
around the
clip.
corner from my grandma's house. I ought to get there.
That's the clip when he was saying like that you're not giving all the details of the in between, because if you weren't giving it, you wouldn't go. Right.
You know what happened to me? You know them shows with the big hook. The big hook.
Oh, you're talking about like
When they're on
The
stage.
Apollo?
the Apollo?
The Apollo,
when they,
whatever.
like,
When they
yank
get
you off stage?
Yeah,
Okay.
snatch it. That's what happened to me this evening. I can see it. I can feel it.
That reminds me of a sermon that I heard about 2 weeks ago when they were talking about the blueprint. You know, it says that your blueprint is unreliable, but God's blueprint is undeniable. You know, so you chart a course for yourself, and you can see.
Who said that?
I forgot it. I'm looking
Same
at it right now.
Tory Phillips.
Yeah.
Tory Phillip, yeah, that's So, yeah, he was saying that you know, you've set this plan for yourself, but God really knows what's going on, and now might not be the time, or now might just not be the time to travel, or you don't know what he's stopping you or preventing you from doing, but that doesn't mean that your plan is wrong. It just might not be the right time. Timing is everything.
Timing is everything. That's the sermon.
Yeah.
TD Jakes did a sermon on it. Timing is everything. It's amazing. I'll send that to you.
Okay.
So it's like, you know what? That could be sort of frustrating knowing like from the beginning, like you have to, like, all right, the Lord is like, yo, all of this greatness is way down here. It's waiting for you.
Yo, but the thing is, I mean, I don't know, like, to me, I think the struggle, like, when developing, like, that faith relationship or whatever, is, like, knowing, like, still may not be that way at the end. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, it's just, like, sometimes the journey in itself is the lesson, right? For you to get to the next thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's where, like, even, like, as I'm growing in that regard, like, it's, like, everything's about, like, prayer, and everything's about, like, trust. Because, like, I know this is going to go a bunch of ways that I don't plan.
That's good.
And the fact that I already know that only means that I got to, like, be, like, built up to deal with the fact that it's going to happen. Because, like, you know, sometimes when people aren't, like when people aren't there, like, you know, it's a little easier because you're just able to be hopeful and be like, yo, I'm going to pray and this is going to turn out. It's like, no, like, I kind of know, like I done seen people pray and not get what they want. Like, this ain't the Santa Claus situation. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't just submit a list and then, like, you know, I was good all year, so it's going to come back. Like, nah, it's not that simple. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So you have to be prepared for it to not go your way as well.
People know. I believe people know.
Should.
They should. if you're in tune to the Holy Spirit and you listen, you know. Like, I knew I wasn't driving. I knew I was not driving to Georgia this week. I was in straight denial. Like,
That's
for
a
real.
fact.
But people know. People know they're either in denial or they're just not being still enough to hear. People know when the plans that they have written out or whatever, they know when they're not going to work. They just try to push through, just like I was trying to do, and make it work on their own. And then that's when it's crash and burn and fail.
It's a fine line between being driven and being stubborn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like you don't know which one you're being at times, because like you could just be like, oh, like maybe the doubt is there for me to like prove how much I'm committed to what I want to do. And you're like pushing yourself and you're fighting with so much resistance, but it's like actually the resistance is all the logic and everybody telling you like, nah, don't do it.
Yeah. What my mentor said to me was, this doesn't mean that you're not operating in faith. She said this means you're using wisdom.
I like that.
That's important to be able to hear that.
I like that.
It is important.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times, shoot. Well, I'm
Say
saying
it.
like like a lot of times, like what happens is because it's hard to be able to tell. Like KJ was saying, like when you're in the middle of it. Now I'm saying like some of those, just depending on like whatever it is that the Lord has promised you. Obviously, it's like that you're going to be at whatever place. It's like, all right, so now I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Like I don't wanna not have faith. I wanna, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't wanna not. So now you're stuck between taking the advice or of people that you trust or people that and then actually praying in a way that you're not deciding what it is that God wants you to do, like actually waiting for Him to, you know what I'm saying, and then or feeling like a quitter because you didn't do that thing. So it's, you know what I mean, like it can be a little easier said than done when you feel like you're being pulled in a different direction by your emotions, or you're not wanting to quit. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you know that whatever it is that you're doing, you got to have a certain, what my dad calls stick-to-itiveness, to be able to make it happen. But it's like you have to really be when I say like, when you're praying and you're not allowing for the Lord to give you the direction, you're assuming that your emotions and your common sense, you know what I'm saying, is the pull of the Lord.
Yeah.
And it don't be that, but it's like because it made sense to you in a certain situation. I said it this thing that I wrote one time that I was sometimes I cook. I was making cornbread. Very, very, very simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but because I was kind of in a rush to do something else, the thing said it's to like 350, 375, something like that. And I was like, if I raise it by like 100 degrees, you know what I mean? Like I'll be, you know what I mean? It's like, I can, but I'm saying if I watch it, you know what I mean? Like I'll be good, and it'll solidify, and so I'm thinking I'm getting ready to be able to get this done in like half of the time. So what I ended up, right? Well, what I ended up doing was, I took it out the oven. The top was golden. It looked like it would be delicious. The thing was, the thing, like, it was kind of translucent, so you could see like the bottom, and it like the bottom was also solid. It was, but when I cut it, I'm like, it's kind of soft, but it's done, because I'm looking at it and I'm thinking it's done. But when I took the spatula, it was like, like the middle part was still mad, like it was all of the goo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was actually disgusting. Kind of ruined the thing. I tried to put it back. It didn't work. But the point is that I thought that, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so this is the desired result. All I have to do, if I'm mindful of this, I can make that go even quicker. I can, you know what I'm saying? Like I've got my own plan into this thing, because according to what the directions say, like, this makes sense. Not perfect math, but I'm pretty sure that as long as I don't walk away from it for too long, like, you know what I'm saying? I see it's good, like it's going to look done.
It's science, honestly.
Like what I'm saying, like it's
and
going
then
to be.
they put it on the box for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, Well, I mean, to be fair, they don't tell us to put on the spices that we
It's
put in our
also
food.
different.
That's
but
different.
yeah,
That's fine.
it is
That
different.
is something different.
However, I never claimed to be a chef. So anyway, who cares about the food? The point is,
You brought it up.
I'm saying, well, the point is, well, I just said that it came out disgusting. Stay on top of it. Like I said, so.
Oh, don't be a
Listen,
victim.
so, who said anything about it? What's wrong with y'all, yo? So, I don't remember starting this out by saying that yeah.
You say you cook sometimes. I remember. I got it.
Chill. I said, I started this out by saying something that I did wrong because it made sense at the time that it would be that. And that when I took it out of the oven, that it looked like what it was supposed to be, but it was not. And my point is that when we try to sort of insert our own things into that stuff, is like, oh, well, I'm, you know what I mean? Like, yo, I know that I have to do this, but I need to be able to do it in this amount of time because I want to do something else. Like I got my hands on other things. So I'm like, it didn't work out the way that I thought that it would. It actually was a catastrophe. And so I'm just saying that, you know what I mean? Like when we insert our own ways into what it is that the Lord, because it might make sense to us, and we're not necessarily listening or receiving conventional wisdom. Because we're saying like, yo, this makes too much sense to not work. You know what I'm saying? Like, like you just end up with this, with a bad result.
We do that frequently. Like, all right, God said do X, Y, and Z. You're like, all right, like, but He'll tell you a specific order to do it.
And you think you gotta do it
Right.
all.
Because like as you said in another pod, but basically like understanding like, all right, cool. If I do it instead of doing 1, 2, 3 the way He told me to do it, 3 is real close to me right now.
Yeah.
Let me just
And
do this.
1's around the corner, and then I can go to 2.
I'ma
So
go.
I can do 3, 1, 2, and then everything is done and we're straight.
Absolutely.
But the reason He told us the order was because there was something at each one that you needed for the next one. And like that's what happens. We're so used to convenience that we will do things to make it more convenient for us, not understanding why there is an order to the process.
Yes.
No pun intended.
I just want to throw out there real quick, I think so. My cooking skills are going to be in question. I'm not.
They're better now.
I'm not great, but I can domesticated enough to be able to feed myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I just want to throw that out there. It's not terrible.
I will agree with you that I am also not the best cook. I leave that to my other cousins, my aunt. But I can feed myself. I can make cornbread.
Oh.
I said this was that one time that I learned to not do that. Also,
Right. It was a learning process.
Hold on, like we're not. So again, it was an example of me
feel
doing
so
something
bad.
that was dumb.
Just take the jokes.
But also, it's fine. But it was it's an example of just doing something stupid at the time. Like anything we do, like we look back and be like, yo, what was I thinking when I, you know what I'm saying, when I did that? Why did I think that would work? One time, somebody close to me thought that they could boil eggs in the microwave. It almost blew the door off my microwave. So yeah, I mean, like yo, in your mind, it's a good idea, like right then. But like when you.
Oh man.
I think that's the important teacher of following the steps and stages. It's almost like graduating high school or college, right? You can't take those upper level courses until you finish the remedial stuff. You know what I'm saying? We got to add and subtract before we multiply and divide.
Prerequisites.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So like
That's so
in that same analogy,
Yeah.
like we see the goal, but we don't see how we get there. But we got to continue to level up each time, and we don't know what those levels are. So you know what I'm saying? We got to take it step by step.
Can't
So
still,
why do you take algebra
Second.
2 after you take geometry instead of taking
Algebra 2 after algebra?
I'll just.
Why do you even
No,
talk
I
about
agree
geometry? I still be trying to figure that out.
It made more sense to me at the time.
That's still.
But yeah, so like the point of the matter is you don't know what you don't know. Like, and you'll never know what you don't know because you don't know it. Like you have you'll learn it at some point. But
I think praying for discernment is important because when you're going through this process, what you want to hear Like oftentimes, like you're gonna be like, that must be God.
What is what you want to hear?
Because it's what you want to hear. Like you have
I seen a cloud in the shape of a figure 8.
you know what I mean? Like your personal implicit bias to what you are, the way you want to do it, is gonna make you be like, nah, that was the word. Like, no, maybe it was. Like, actually, maybe it's wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Like the enemy could just know that, like, yo, this would be a great way to ruin your plan by telling you to like not listen to your mentor.
That is called
not listen. You know what I mean? It's like nah, maybe God said that. Like, you know what I mean? Just because like that sounds like what you want to hear. I feel like that's like, for lack of better words, it's a trick of the enemy. Like, and it's like a very, very solid trick because you're playing upon the fact that people love to hear their own selves think and talk, and like people love mirrors because you're getting it back at you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's a real thing.
Oh,
like
we got comments galore. My bad.
You said, oh, my bad. I'm saying it's a real thing.
Yeah.
If you like, you think sometimes that you're like if you think something or you're trying to figure out like which direction you might want to go in, and then like you know what I'm saying, like, so you think something the opposite of what it is that you want to do. Is a real thing to be like, yo, I gotta stop being negative versus this is, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, Rick could legitimately be like, yo, this is not what it is that you're supposed to. This is not the direction you should go in. Like, yo, I need to stop being negative. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I rebuke that in Jesus' name. You know, I rebuke Jesus in Jesus' name.
Oh,
like,
no.
yo, like, you
Take that back.
We do got a bunch of comments. They've been good.
Not the right thing.
Who
Oh,
read the
You guys
comments?
read the comments?
Oh,
I got it.
yes.
I got it.
This was
Oh,
this. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
No,
you
because
sorry.
it was Meg's, and she was
She was going in.
going in. I mean, because she is Chef Meg.
She had
She's
your back though.
Oh, she's talking about the cornbread?
it's all good.
Yeah, she.
It's all good.
She had your back. She had your back because
For a
she teased you
moment.
last week.
It's fine. It's fine.
She
I'm cool.
did say, I am judging you. It is a science. I always tell people that. But she did say, leave
Y'all
it
better
alone. Leave my friend alone.
Hey, man.
Okay.
It's fine.
He gonna be
But,
alright.
I don't-
yeah, so
He gonna be alright.
what she was
Listen,
saying.
yo, I'm fine with just bringing soda and like plasticware to cookouts and stuff. I don't want that pressure.
Don't forget
Right.
This is all a
forget ice.
necessity.
I got paper towels for you. I got you.
Go ahead. Shanice.
mad bags.
Some
of
brownies
Ice.
too.
Yes,
That's the
yes.
part people be
Ice.
forgetting.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's mad things to do if cooking ain't your strong suit.
Yeah.
I cook for me.
But yeah, so Chef Meg said, you'll never grow or get ahead if you don't have fully honest people around you. And I think that's a good tag that you want to, going back to your earlier episodes that we had, basically talking about how you have to make sure you have a good circle. Because we don't want an echo chamber. Like, it's cool if your people agree with you, but they also should push you to the next level. Not saying like push you hard, but like coax you, like, yo, you can do better kind of thing.
I have an imprint in my back
Right.
from being pushed.
I mean, a nudge. You don't want an imprint.
I have an imprint because there are several people pushing.
Just
me.
lean.
That's dope though. And I'm pretty sure, like, you know, your friends know. You know what I mean? Like, and it's good when friends can do that for one another.
Absolutely.
Yeah, isn't it? No, because I almost said no. I didn't. It wasn't
I feel
It
like
wasn't.
this is not
It
my
wasn't.
episode.
I wasn't saying that like no. Because on the episode when he was, a couple episodes ago, I was saying how like his stubbornness like incites my gift. It's weird.
Ooh, yeah.
But
Let's
it
go.
really
Let's hear
does. No, that was the gist of
Unpack
it. Like,
that. No? Nothing? Got some.
But nah, so like, so
Yeah.
because we in Bible study now, so we just going into it. But no, I think it's an important question to ask yourself, about how to receive God's no, or
teach me.
yeah. Well, no,
That's serious.
I know you can't.
it is a tough thing, or like when God gives you something and not the way you want it, like, Because like that's another tough way to like when you receive something that like you're like, oh yeah, I want this, and then he gives you something that you feel has nothing to do with it. Like David fighting Goliath was first taught how to use his slingshot guarding sheep. I don't know if David intentionally said, I want to guard the sheep. I'm pretty confident because he had a bunch of older brothers who were soldiers. He probably was like, I could be a soldier too. He probably had the dream of one day I'll be a soldier like my brothers. However, he was not given that opportunity. Like he was told to tend to the sheep, and then he ended up having to learn how to do things to tend to the sheep, to be mindful of the sheep, to learn how to protect them from the bear and the lion. Like there's some things that he didn't understand. However, when he needed that information, he gets to this place where now Saul has chosen him because he's like, "Oh, I'll kill Goliath for you." Oh, him, that's it. All right, I got that. Like,
Go ahead, John.
Nah, real. I mean, so you remember when we were doing that thing, the faith, the faith thing, and like I likened that process to like the whole Karate Kid thing, how like you're in process, you're learning things and they look stupid, it feels wrong.
Right.
Oh, wax on, wax on.
Everything about it is like, yo, why am I learning this? This is not. This don't even make any sense.
Right.
This is not what I'm here for. You told me this was my purpose, and this is all the things I'm supposed to be doing. And look at what do you have me doing? You have me washing cars and painting fences and all that. But in reality, all that preparation was hidden within those tasks.
right.
And it's like when it was game time, he was fully prepared. Fully prepared. And it just didn't look like how he expected it to look. But ta-da, now you're well-trained black belt, whatever. I don't know.
I get you.
But yeah, so all of that.
The
You know-
unlikely black belt.
For me, listening to you say that, for me, and it's like it's been a while, but this word has come back to me in this past week. We have to surrender. Like we have to live a surrender lifestyle, and I feel like I kind of got away from that. And like that word, a couple of days ago, that word came back, and then now you saying that, like us doing things that, and we're like, why are we doing this? Why do we got to do this? And instead of mumbling and
Because control
complaining,
feels comfortable.
right? It does,
Absolutely.
but it's like we as believers, we have to release control. We have to surrender. We have to lay down our lives. We have to yield.
Right, do it without groaning.
But that's
Yes.
all biblical. Like
It
the
is
Bible says,
biblical.
lean not into your
Yeah,
own
but we
understanding.
forget, and we need reminders.
Well, just in the way of faith, to AJ's point, even what was crazy about David being able to defeat Goliath is that the Lord never told him to do that. Like
Good call.
it was actually something that he felt that he was able to do because of where his faith had been built. We talked about how he killed the lion and the bear with his bare hands while he was tending the sheep. Like the only promise that we know that he had up to that point was that he was someday going to be king. That's it. He never said like you're going to be the one to defeat Goliath. He went and did that. So it wasn't even like a story of how, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, we have to, face our giants, whatever, because Goliath wasn't a giant for David. He was just somebody who was in the way of what the Lord wanted, and David didn't like that. And so, you know what I'm saying, like David, like on the way to becoming king, he gets to a point where it says, Saul has killed his thousands, but David has killed his tens of thousands.
Right.
Because David was always about doing what it was that the Lord wanted him to do. When he stepped outside of that is when he, you know what I'm saying, when he got it with Bathsheba. That's what, you know what I'm saying, like, but all up to that point, he was always just doing what it was that the Lord wanted him to do. Like I said, he never said, like, you're going to be the one that killed Goliath. Like, he didn't say that. He wasn't even in the army. He happened to be bringing his brothers, so, you know what I'm saying, like, some food.
He was bringing them food.
You know what I mean? Like, and he saw that everybody was, and he was like, yo, well, you know what I mean? Like, well,
Oh, y'all scared?
this is he's like, yo, but this is, so I'm saying, like, yo, when we talk about David and Goliath, because a lot of times we talk about it like that was his end thing, like the end of his journey. But it really was the beginning.
Beginning.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because he did like so many other things he was able to do after that. But like the Lord had built his faith up to that, like to that point. So I'm just saying, like, to us, a lot of times maybe it seems like, yo, we're building up to this thing, and we think that this is the culmination of, you know what I'm saying, of everything that we've been through, and it's just another lesson. Like it's to really, you know what I mean? Like we haven't really seen where it is that the Lord wants to bring us. He's going to bring us some because He's going to do more than we can imagine. He said that in the Word. That's not, you know what I'm saying? Like He said that He was going to do that. But it's like, how will you really be able to do that unless we're able to move the proverbial mountains that we think are big? That Jesus said that we would be able to move with a mustard seed size grain of faith. So you know what I mean? So now it's like, all right, well, if I can do that, then I can do anything. If I tear a lion apart with my bare hands and a bear apart with my bare hands, you're a man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you tearing a lion's face apart by both ends. Those are sharp teeth. Like, yo, you're a tall man, yo. So I'm not So I'm, we getting ready to do this.
It's giving 6'7".
It's
It's
giving
6'7".
yo.
That was wild.
So it's, you know what I mean? Like, so it's not, so wherever it is, but obviously it was on the path that the Lord would have had him on. When He anointed him to be king, it would have been, you know what I mean? Like, it would have been like an easy thing to be like, all right, so, like, you said I was gonna be king, so I'm trying to do kingly stuff. I want to be the king today because you said that this is where I'm gonna end up. But it's like all of these things happen on the way there to qualify him when the other king was still in place.
So
for him, you know what I'm saying?
Grab that. So just take my time. I'm running. My bad. You right. My
Yeah,
bad.
it's fine.
I didn't catch it till after
Go
you
ahead,
just said.
catch it.
All right, but
Catch and grab. Okay.
just to tie in what he was saying, but like going back to like what we're saying, like when what you want, what you desire doesn't come the way you want it. Oh, dang, my bad. Isn't received the way you planned it to be, because David loved Saul, but Saul had to stop being king in order for David to be king. The exact quote that you actually quoted is why Saul was mad. Saul killed thousands of men, but David killed 10,000 men. That was a rumor, or not necessarily a rumor, but that was a saying that the people then would say, and they actually would sing it. And that's what grieved Saul, because he felt less than now. Because even though he promoted David to be the person over his armies and to go fight the battles and stuff like that, like he gave David that title, but he felt that David got more reverence for being who he was. And what grieved David was the fact that now, because of this, Saul now wants to kill David, but David loves Saul. A lot of the stuff he did it was because of his faith in God, yes, but he also did it on behalf of Saul because Saul said so. So like Saul said, go kill him, done. God said, go kill him, done. Like it was his kind of tit for tat kind of thing. And it wasn't until he gets into a position where he's in a cave and now he has Saul trapped. And Saul doesn't know it. So give you the story. So basically, Saul's chasing David to kill David. So David and his people run into a cave. It's raining. It's dark. Nobody knows. Saul's looking for him. He's going to rest. Doesn't realize that they're in the cave. He's like, yo, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick and go in the cave and come right out. So while he's in there, David's praying. David says, you've delivered Saul into my hand. What am I supposed to do? And God tells him, do as you please. And when David is told that, he's grieved because he feels that he's supposed to kill Saul, but he doesn't want to. So what he ends up doing was he cuts off a piece of his shirt or his cloak to prove like, yo, I had the opportunity to kill you, but I didn't take it. And then he comes out after he calls out Saul, I'm here. And I had the opportunity and I didn't take it. And that's when the relationship is actually mended at that point.
That's my favorite story.
I love David. That's one of my favorite characters from the Bible. But just knowing, like, because the culmination, like, getting to this place, like, is tough. If you would have told David, who loves Saul, he loves his whole family. His whole family knows David. Like, his son, Saul's son loves David. David ended up marrying Saul's daughter. Like, he's in the family. If you were to tell David, while he's in the family, Saul's going to want to murder you, or you're going to have to battle Saul in order to become king. I think there would have been times where David would have sat back and been kind of like shook, like, yo, I don't really want to do that. Like, that's not what I signed up for. You told me I was going to be king, but I didn't want to do this part kind of thing. I don't want to be like, this dude Saul is a big dude too. Like, he's not nothing to be played with. He hurled a spear at this man's face. Like, he was trying to take him out for real, for real. Like that is what would be grieving. And this is what happens sometimes. God gives us, as you said, God gives us a picture of the story. And he only shows us so much. But he doesn't give us the middle, because there's some pieces that we're going to shy away from.
I don't want to do that.
Right. I don't. I'm not a fan of this part. Like, is there any way?
Yeah,
Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane.
No
Yeah.
mayo.
I
No
could
mayo,
wipe
no
out this
pickles.
whole pan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yo, there's some things that I'm not gonna want to do, and that's just me being honest. But not my will, your will be done.
You gotta really believe that.
You have to really believe that.
You gotta really do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
You gotta believe it and
Yeah.
do it. It's one thing to say it.
Right. I was just reading something about like desire versus decision, and like you can desire, you can want, you can will, you can, do all these things with intention, but until you decide, until you put intentionality behind it, it ain't gonna be nothing. And you can want to live saved, you can want to surrender, you can say like, I don't want to live this life anymore, I don't want my life to be this way, and you can keep saying that all you want, and most people do. Like, I just want peace, and I just want this, and you want it, but what are you doing to achieve that? And like, again, that full surrender is what it actually takes. And it's a process, because it definitely doesn't happen in one day. It definitely don't happen overnight. But it's like that daily reminder of like, all right, today this is what I'm choosing. I am choosing to give God the reins. And it's like in every situation that comes up, it's being mindful, like, yo, is this what God wants me to do? And you have to think like that. You have to be in that constant thought process, or you're just going to just continue to do what you want to do. And then, again, like in my circumstances, keep taking the L.
Listen.
For now.
For now, I'm done with
But
the
what
L's.
if that lemonade that you think you're supposed to be making ain't supposed to be lemonade?
So why am I getting lemons?
What if it's supposed to be like a tart?
Oh. All right, cool. I like it.
Lemon cake.
I do like lemon cake, though.
You might be making something else, you just don't know yet.
You're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
just to throw out, like she said,
Perspective.
it's a process, like she was saying. So it ain't like, like you have to, because saying it and doing it obviously are two different things. We know that, but then like you have to be able to, because think about all the things that you do during the day, and you know what I'm saying. Like when you're surrendering, like learning to surrender that on top of learning to live saved. What does it mean to do this? What does it mean to do that? How am I? Is this prayer effective?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
like you're learning so much at the same time that just to say like is nothing to be discouraged about if you feel like now I'm talking to me. So if you like sometimes you feel like you're missing you're missing the mark because you're what I'm saying, like, oh, I'm not doing enough, or apparently I need to do blah blah blah. Was like, yo, but you're learning to do something different,
Right.
to be different, and it's fine, like it's okay to be able to like to not be perfect at it. Like the point is like, what are your intentions?
Right.
Why are you doing this? And then it's like, what are you gonna do to make this better? Like now, what I'm saying? Okay, well, I see where I'm making a misstep or something that I may have overlooked. Well, I'm not gonna continue to do that thing. I want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, how do I step outside of this? And live the whole rest of my day. And, you know what I'm saying? Like like under this thing, because it's not just one thing, yo. It's not. So I'm just, you know, it is a process. Not to sound cliche, but just okay, you got it. So but it's, you know, it's just it's one of those it's one of those things. So like I'm not happy moving outside of the will of the Lord. Also, if this happens, I know that I need to just go back to Him. Be like, all right, so what are the steps that it is that you want me to take now that I recognize that I misstepped?
Oh man, that was like a super old song right there. Like what's the whole like not my will but Thy will be done. Like it was like that's true though. I guess like you know what I mean. Like you have to like grow up to like get the like practical application of something you've been hearing your whole life, like since you, you know what I mean. Like
But that's true though.
But I'm just saying, like when I'm a little kid, like I don't.
Right.
My
It don't
will,
apply.
like I'm not
Church
trying
mother
to
only
like,
said different.
Is
so,
the misstep a part of the process though? Like in order to get to where you need to be and where you want to be, the misstep is a part of the process that got you there. So is the misstep really a misstep, or is it an opportunity for Him to teach you?
Yeah.
you know what it is, bro? In my opinion, it's like it is a part of the process to your point. But the thing is that it's not a part of your projected plan.
Right.
Yeah.
So you label it as a
Right.
misstep.
You look at
Like
it.
all
You look at it as a
along,
misstep.
it's the plan that it's just not the plan you designed.
Right.
Romans 8.
So in that case, you're not taking L's, you're learning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, those are L's technically.
They are,
Learning
I mean,
comes
yeah,
from
there's still
But it's
lessons or
the
whatever.
it's the perception of how you're
Right.
looking at it, right? Like,
Right.
I
Nah,
got you.
and I just said the other day to AJ, like in those missteps, it's like you really are gaining wisdom. Like it don't feel like it again, you know, but you're gaining wisdom so that when a similar situation is presented or like the same exact temptation or situation is presented, you know what to do. You know how to handle it. You know how to navigate that
And you
thing.
can help somebody else.
Exactly.
It's mad silly, but it's the Lion King dream when he was like when he went to swing that him. When Rafiki hit him, he was
Oh,
like,
right.
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 It's like,
Yeah.
like you know what to do now because
Right.
it already happened.
right.
Yeah, very true.
But yeah, so I mean, and that's biblical, like, because like, even like looking back at Jesus calls Peter. We talked about it before, but Jesus calls Peter a devil when he cuts off the dude's ear to save Jesus. But he calls Judas friend, even though he knows Judas is gonna betray him.
Peter.
Like even when he like gets to the place where he's about to betray him, he kisses him on the cheek. He still calls him friend because he understood that there was a reason. Like I need this to happen, kind of thing. And to KJ's point, we don't usually count those things as a part of the part of the plan because they're not a part of our plan. Like, and I think that's crazy. Cause like, yo, how many things that we feel we messed up, like in our heads, we messed this up, but they were a part of God's plan all along.
Yeah, but you gotta know that you know.
Well, you know, hindsight's
So
2020.
I'm just, you know, and I'm saying for me, like I don't mind using, like, you know, what I'm saying using my own missteps is just that, like, yo, because I don't. It's like you have to show yourself. You have to show yourself grace. Like you're not gonna be able to do everything perfect, but like it doesn't matter what it is that you're doing. If you're sort of holding yourself to a high standard, it's like, yo, but I should have known better, or I shouldn't do. You know what I mean? Like so, so it don't necessarily be that thing. It just be like, how I didn't see that coming, or why, you know, like why, where was my mind at that I didn't think of this, or that I stepped outside of that. So, you know what I mean? Like it's you know, like for me, the struggle is just not perseverating on those things.
That's a good word.
Be able to move past it. You know what I'm saying? I did not go to college.
So
I feel bad because I went and I don't know.
I think you know, focusing on, you know, we keep talking about the process, but like focusing on outcomes is like what we're typically wired to do. And like as I'm growing, I'm just learning to like focus on like skills, for lack of better words. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm like focusing on like discernment, patience,
Yeah.
like,
The
you know
ability
what I
to
mean?
wait well.
The ability, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, all these things that you need so that, like, trust. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all these things, like, obedience, like, all these things that you need to be able to navigate. So when those sharp left turns come out of nowhere, you will follow, or you will listen, or you will be willing to, like, even have, like, the maturity emotionally to be able to, like, accept the fact that it's not going your way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this doesn't call for me to be disappointed. Like, actually, like, this is just, like, something I wasn't ready for. And, like, you know, it's time to be more observant and be ready to learn whatever is coming with this unexpected turn or whatever.
Yeah. You're right. That's it. It's just, you know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, because,
I'm saying just doing it in real time is just,
Yeah.
like,
Just
yo,
get
you
so
know what I mean?
used to it.
Like, it's
Like,
like,
I think-
I know it. I could go back to the pod and be like, this is what I was supposed to do. But
Right.
like, yo, when I'm going through, it's like, oh, heck.
I think you get so used to, like, prayer being, like, tangible. Like, you know what I mean? Like, especially, like, it's like that. That's where your vision comes from. So you're like, oh, man, like, you know, like my vision is for this business. And, like, you're praying for this business. You're not praying for, like, the ability to sustain it when it happens. You're not praying for the ability to have the skills to be able to manage the money. You know what I mean? You're praying for the customers. You're not praying for the skills to deal with them. You're not praying for the skills to be able to, like, deal with them on your bad days. You're not praying for the skills of, like, all the things that you need when it's not favorable. You're not literally praying for the skills to be able to deal with when you get your desired outcome or whatever the outcome's gonna be. That's why I think, like, my new prayer is to, like, be able to, like, deal with however things go.
Yeah.
Y'all
And what happens if
pick
he-
up these Deacon Wilson gems?
That's my grandfather. Ain't nobody called me that. Wait, what was you about to say?
No, I'm saying what happens when he prepares you for those things unknowingly before they happen, before he gives you the blessing that you're actually looking for. He's giving you the trials and the tribulations that lead you to that success.
Yeah, you know what's crazy, and I can't answer for myself directly, but I can answer and not tell all of her business. But I was dealing with that with my lady, like, you know what I mean, like, we've been dealing with certain things for, like, the last couple of months that she, like, you know, like no matter where our conversation went, it rounded back to this reoccurring theme, and it was heavy on her heart. And I mean, like, it was actually, like, it was, like, peppered in the messages that was happening at church weekly, and it was just there, and it was so heavy. And, like, she was like, well, what's the scripture for that? And I had no answer. And, like, and I'm like, yo, maybe we could talk to the pastor and, like, see. And then, like, she didn't want to, like, get into it, you know, like, just on the level of privacy and things of that nature. And, like, I just kept telling her, like, yo, I just think we just need to pray, like, for a resolution. And she kept praying for a resolution, and, like, she didn't get an answer. But when she was faced with all of it, the answer was there. Like, I could see the answer in the way she behaved. I could see the answer in the way she handled the situation.
Right.
Like, it was like, even though she wasn't given this information to be able to be like, hey, so when this happens, you do da da da.
Yeah.
Like, no, the fact that she was obedient and ready to receive an answer,
That part.
even though the answer wasn't given, she was walking. You know what I mean? Like, she was led, so she, like, it wasn't her behaving. Like, I know exactly how she felt. And I know that her feelings weren't operating in any of that, any of the things that got her through when she was faced with what she had been worrying about. Like, it was crazy.
That's wild. That's dope.
Yeah.
Amber said it's the perception and how you deal with it. And so many lessons in the process if we are open to see them. That's huge.
That's a fact.
Yes, Amber.
So yeah, it's something that we have to be aware of, and that's why the Bible says to watch and to pray. Like, it's not enough for us just to pray for things, and then, like, as we're talking about things that you pray for, as KJ said, that we don't necessarily, we pray for pieces of it, but we don't pray for everything about it. So basically praying for one piece, but not realizing, like, all right, I'm gonna have bad days. Like, I want customers, but I don't have customer service skills. Like, I want this huge business, but I don't know how to manage money. Like, these are things that KJ is bringing up And it's important to think about these things, because what are you going to do if you? Bible says if you're faithful over a little, it'll make you the ruler over much. So like, what we have to understand is that these little trials and things that are bothering to us, they are things that we feel weigh us down. They are things that we feel that slow us down from where we're trying to go. Are actually God using these things to mold us into what we need to be in order to maintain what He's trying to give us.
Yeah. Yo, on the flip side,
Yeah.
on the flip side, like, quite honestly, like, even the things, like, because sometimes, we're talking about how the process changes us and helps us to learn certain lessons and stuff, but sometimes there's stuff that's already on the inside of us that we just don't understand why we're different than everybody else in that area.
Absolutely.
And then we learn how to be able to, we learn that along the way to be able to use the stuff that he already put in us. Like, you ever see a movie on iRobot? Where he like, yo, it's like the
his arm.
the independent thinking robot. Like he was like, yo, he's like, nah, I'm not like all of the other ones because my arms have a thicker alloy. He didn't know why through the whole movie why his arm had the thicker alloy than the rest of those robots. But then at the end we find out why he was able to go inside of this force field that was like burning his hand, so that he was actually able to grab it out and give it to, so they could do what the mission was, whatever it is that they needed to do. It's like, so it's like, but he had that all that time, was never able to answer that question until that moment where he needed it and was like, yo, I think that I can do this because I have this tool. Like, like, I don't, like, over the years, like TW, if you talk to him now, like, he's like, this dude just be saying stuff, like, even to the guys that we work with, it's like, yo, because he has like these skills, but I feel like this is something that he just had. This is the part, and of course it got better over time, but like, he's good at being able to redirect people in that way to get them to think a different way about their issue. That is a gift that not everybody has. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but how would you know that you could do that if you know what I mean? If you weren't steadily put in those situations, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so is one of those things that we kind of develop. Well, how do I know that I have this skill, or why, like, it would just be a waste if I'm never put in a situation where now I got to use it. I got to continue to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I've been singing since I was 3. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever the situation is, like, that's just what it is.
Another comment said,
said you broke something?
Why? Another comment that Amber said that I think is great is part of our prayer has to be listening and not just talking. I am definitely guilty of this. Where I ask for a lot of things, and then I kind of like just berate God with talking, like, and where I don't always, like, I'm just gonna be honest, like, I don't always stop to wait for the response. Like, I'm just like asking questions upon questions because I have questions. Like, am I doing this right? Are you pleased with me? And he shows me.
It's like, I can't answer you if you don't shut up.
Very true.
Hit him with the "How was your day?" so you can talk.
Like, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth.
I've heard this before. But like, not to say that God won't respond, because like, he answers my prayers. Like, later on, like, what he'll do is, like, he doesn't always audibly talk to me. What he'll do is he'll show me. Like, all right, I'll show you if you're doing what I want you to do. Like, when people say, when I get confirmation is big for me. Yeah. So anytime I get confirmation, I'm like, oh, all right, we on the right track. At least we going the right way.
For sure.
Like,
I mean, even the fact that we all seen that throughout the week about the, like, getting a glimpse of the final, like, where, like, that is confirmation. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
There's a million things to see online.
So see, guys, this is I didn't expect for the conversation to take this turn, but it's not a bad turn. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
isn't that what the conversation was about?
It was.
You have to trust the detours.
Hey.
Listen. Y'all can think y'all offering Memphis, Tennessee, PO Box 38101. If you would like the VHS version. Like, so. That boy good.
VHS is absolutely insane.
Yo,
Just hit the
but
gas.
yeah, yo, the convo took a crazy turn. I mean, for the good. It's definitely so. I mean, I just want to know, are all hearts and minds clear as we near the 1040? It's like,
Them little squares that remind me of my bed. The white sheets.
there we go, yo. Now it's time to say goodbye to all my Negro friends. Any church announcements?
Oh, Lord.
I'll come back.
Oh, no, for sure.
Oh, you are more than welcome.
For sure.
I'll be here next Monday. It's Massachusetts.
Appreciate it.
Hey, but that means you listen, though. That's what's
Right. She heard the word of the Lord.
I heard them loud and clear.
So remember, if you would also like your biblical apparel, go to SpreadTheWord.store or SpreadTheGoodWord.com.
I love how y'all do this. That's so nice.
Somebody needs the word.
Yeah.
And I'm saying just wear it.
And so it doesn't matter if you can't quite remember your favorite scripture because he could put it on a hoodie.
Right.
And someone else
And
can
when they
read
say,
it.
yo, what's your favorite scripture? You be like, yo, read that back there.
Yeah. So it's like I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
I believe that's Philippians 4.
4:13.
It is 4:13.
Oh, I like that.
So
I never
next
realized
time
it was
somebody says
4:13.
something negative about Springfield, say Philippians 4:13.
Oh, you need the area code Philippians 4:13.
Nah, that scripture on it. I got it on mine across with the scripture in the back. I was like, oh, 4:13. I was like, oh, I heard you. Like,
That's fine.
nah, she was smooth with that.
That's okay. Yo, my man.
Everybody mad excited right now.
Yeah. All right. Yo. Also, I gotta say, shout out to TW's mom because from last episode, she sent me this book in the mail based on what we were talking about. She wouldn't even let him read it, like look at it before. She wouldn't let him open the box. Because you know what I'm saying, like because it was specific to me, something that she discerned that I needed.
That's what's up.
And so I love you.
Thank you.
I want to let you know that I am so appreciative. I thank you so much. I definitely appreciate it. So I didn't want the episode to go by without saying thank you because nobody has to do any of that stuff, and especially for someone that. For what this book is talking about is super, super helpful to me specifically. So, thank you again. If all hearts and minds are clear, we're gonna go ahead and get on out of here, guys. But as always, we just want to inspire you to allow Jesus to be the lotion that lathers your ashy soul.
You see a crisis, you know what I mean? Come on, this how we do from New Yiddy to the Bull City NC. Yeah, check it out. White CL 550, ivory interior. Do it all for her. You random chicks are inferior. My starship superior. Fuck if you ain't feeling her. Better yet, bring on the haters. I'm saying the more the merrier. Condos in DC, the Chi and NY. Mansion in the A, as well as the Bay. Sublets in Trinidad. Can we take the kids to Disney? Whatever you desire, but first enjoy Sydney. Microwave meals? Man, my chef game real. Word to M real, straight up. He know the deal. Countless vacations, Chick-fil-A nation, Brother La Chevelle. Suit and tie when at crustaceans. Life is better, and I'm loving it. No more dialysis, mother, struggling family guy. Similar to Peter Griffin. Group of solo mission, they're the reason I'm spitting. Fall back. Fall back. Cause when it comes to my fam, I don't know how to act. Try front on kin chat. Yeah, fall back. Fall back. Cause when it comes to my fam, I don't know how to act. Try front on kin.
Yo. Fight like the whip all white, I like it black. If I loan you money, believe me, I want it back. Days I'm spaced out, I want my ceilings like that. So I'm mentally preparing on how to invest in racks. I'm super protected, the squad is like a pack. Double A batteries, the homies, so hit back. But that energy and enemies, I don't invest in. I learned life short, the family here just trying to win. Rap want a Porsche, mama want a Benz. You ain't really boss if you ain't employing your friends. Counting on my blessings, praying over my shortcomings. I've been blessed, so I let it slide if you owe me something. You ain't getting over, I'm just being nice about it. I've been known to fall in love like a kamikaze. Just mean my heart big, that's the thing about me. So just know I love you deep if I let you round me.
Memories got me fall back. Cause when it comes to my fam, I don't know how to act. Try front on Ken, check it. The man do it, fall back. And I'm still sending my fall back. Cause when it comes to my fam, I don't know how to act. Try front on Ken. Can't wait to help my unborn read their first book. A daddy's little girl asking daddy, what's a hook? Twin nieces in the loop. They say they love my LP. This joint knock right her. Uncle Fife, you got heat. Perplexed like Scooby. Laugh at this speech. Elated that they bringing home honors every week. For that I'm not shocked. As a parent, that's fly. But do it for yourself, baby girls, never I. Now it's Buff the Mickey D. Happy Meal, extra fries. Toy out it bag. Mango smoothie, apple pie. Spoil the seed. Long as they grades are on top. Bad behavior, equals Jordans in the bottom. I'm the provider, director, leader of the pack. Yes. Front on my fam, and out comes the captain of the ship. So I have no room to slip. Honor I craft, I thank Jaja for the gift.
So we fall back, all the memories come back to me, flow right through me. Never ever basic, ordinary. We still feel you, please believe me. Hey, Five Diggy Diggy, don't forget the love. Hey, Five Diggy Diggy, don't forget the love. Sending my love.